Norska versus Chaos Dwarves. Nurgle's PA versus Koala. Just wondering why Warp Lightning Cannons. I thought he liked Jezzail's more. Jezzail's can get killed by Fate of Buna, which Nurgle actually does bring a good amount of the time in this matchup. And Warp Lightning Cannons can't. Warp Lightning Cannons, you have to get to them physically, and I'm a bit better at defending them there. But you need them in case of Kugath. You need Jezzail's or Warp Lightning Cannons in case of Kugath. And like I said, sometimes they'll take Fate of Buna, shut down your Jezzail's, and then Kugath will more disengage the rest of your army. It's awful. Arbortonia, the favorites? I predicted Razel to go all the way to the finals. Without Alfredino, I went with Razel, so I already got fucked up on my predictions. Anyway. What do we got here? We got to focus on the game at hand, you guys. We can't keep living in the past. I peaked in elementary school. All right, for Koala on his Chaos Dwarves, we do have Chaos Dwarf Warriors and Hobgoblin Cutthroats as a front line. Triple Kadai Fireborn, boldly enough. Some Hobgoblin Archers, and then a Sorcerer Prophet of Fire with Burning Head and Flaming Sword of Ruin. On the other side, for Norska and Nurgle's PA, we do have Marauder Hunters, an awful lot of them. Some of them are the Javelin type, some are the Throwing Axes for that extra armor piercing. We have Marauder Champions and Marauders across the front line. Wulfric the Wanderer. Looks like Horserick. Horserick with all of his buffs, except for... does not have Foe Seeker, otherwise he has everything. 1 Armored Skinwolf, a Deathcaster with Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech, and then 2 Norscan Ice Wolves. So Norska, without Skinwolf spam, is actually pretty interesting to see. Norska relying on their Man-Tide, and I guess you could call these Archers. It's kind of bold. Hobgoblin Cutthroats trying to just skirt around the front line and get onto the back line with the Javelins and stuff. We'll see if they can make it as other Cutthroats take the fight to the Marauders. Marauder Champions and Chaos Dwarf Warriors is going to be a who's who of no one's going anywhere. And the Kadai Fireborn, if they dive in, could actually do a lot of damage to Marauder Champions. There was a replay just today, actually, of Kadai Fireborn versus Demonettes, and they did very well in that matchup. I've also liked them a lot versus Chaos Warriors, so they'll do fine here against Marauder Champions. But currently they're just being held in reserve to peel off the Norscan Ice Wolves and make sure the Archers can stay up. And already both front lines taking a lot of damage. 2 Marauders are on their way out while Hobgoblin Cutthroats are also leaving the fight. So both front lines taking a lot of damage so far. These other Cutthroats were cut off by more Marauders. And these Cutthroats actually found their targets on the Marauder Hunters' Javelins. I wonder where Wulfric gets involved. I wonder what the Deathcaster does too. If Fate of Buna is out onto the Chaos Dwarf Warriors, just trying to alleviate some of this pressure, as clearly Norska was not ready for this much front line. The Chaos Dwarves are sprinting towards their skirmishers, and the Armored Skinwolves and Wulfric are now having to be pulled up to defend their ranged units. Reminds me a lot of the last game. We do have some Marauder Champions chasing off Hobgoblin Cutthroats. They need to come over here and leave those alone. Marauder Champions are not worthwhile to be chasing Hobgoblins off. And the Kadai Fireborn got onto both of their counters. Ooh, these Marauder Hunters with Javelins want to be throwing at the Kadai Fireborn, but the Kadai caught them and already delete one entirely. Norska is down on the balance of power by quite a bit, and I suppose that is right. If you look around, Norska's front line's really not feeling it, and their back line is under duress. And the Norscan Ice Wolves have to be pulled away from targeting Archers just to run down Kadai Fireborn with the Skin Wolves. They just need to try and peel. That's kind of insane. Hobgoblin Cutthroats do finish chasing off that Marauder Hunter in the distance. And Marauders are fighting Hobgoblin Cutthroats. Honestly, a lot closer than I would have thought. I would have thought Marauders would win that pretty handily. The other Norscan Ice Wolf did do some damage to the Hobgoblin Archers, but the Kadai Fireborn are more than up to the task of peeling for them. Now, this Kadai Fireborn is about to Demonic Instability Crumble. That'll take him out for good. But his was a life well spent. He did a lot of damage to these dogs and Skinwolves and shattered off one of the Javelin Hunters, and it looks like the other Javelin Hunter also shattered, because I don't see it anywhere nearby. I see the Throwing Axe ones, but there's 2 Javelins over here that are both gone. Norska is starting to scrap back a little bit on the balance of power, as Wulfric and Marauders have gotten onto all 3 of the Hobgoblin Archers, it looks like. I don't see any of them still online. And the Chaos Dwarf frontline has largely left the building. That leaves 2 healthy Kadai Fireborn and a very healthy Sorcerer Prophet of Fire left to try and carry this game. And they honestly might be able to. For Norska, I mean, we have 3 mixed health Marauder Hunters. I mean, one's healthy, the other 2 are not. We have some Marauders and Marauder Champions that we've established that Kadai can murder. But, oh, speaking of getting murdered, my god. Spirit Leech plus that Skirmish Fire did a number on these Kadai Fireborn right in front of our eyes. And can the Chaos Dwarves rally any form of support? Because as is suddenly apparent, the Kadai Fireborn can die insanely quickly to some throwing axes. So, these ones in the distance can do a lot of work if they're supported in some way by like Hobgoblin Cutthroats or Chaos Dwarf Warriors chasing around the Marauder Hunters for them. But if they are stuck on their own, we just saw that that's not a recipe for success. Norsca is once again trailing on the bounce power, though, as some of these Chaos Dwarf units are starting to rally and come back to the fight. The Kadai Fireborn maybe going to Demonic Instability Crumble here. There they go. They did a little bit of damage on the Marauder Hunters on their way out. Looks like the other Kadai are coming here. But this is largely Norsca's last stand, is these units need to be kept safe. A full health Marauder Champion is just doomed to Burning Head plus the Kadai Fireborn. That's just not going to work. And then Wulfric, if he gets surrounded by the Kadai Fireborn, he'll do okay, but I wouldn't predict him to win that. Also, I wonder if the Brave Shaman of Death has another Fate of Unit in him. All Norscan Hunters are great against the Fireborn. Clearly, dude. Nurgle's PA, the Norscan player in chat. I would ask that if anyone in chat has played their Faction War games and know how they go, do not say that out loud. It does actually bother me. I usually let it go, but while these armies are reforming lines, it does bother me when someone shows them because, oh, I played so bad this game as we're starting it, and I'm like, hey, bro, we don't know that yet. Shut up. PA, your comment was fine. It just reminded me that I was like, oh yeah, PA, don't tell anybody how this goes. All right, both sides are reforming, so I'm going to fast forward until they kind of get their shit back together here. Boop. Chaos Dwarf Warriors running straight into those throwing axes, getting cut down. Shields raised, doing their best, but their leadership is faltering. And Sorcerer Prophet of Fire is wondering what to do. He does not want to land anywhere near Wulfric. His 28 melee defense will not defend him against Wulfric, and Wulfric actually does beat him in a duel pretty handedly. Big Burning Head on the most healthy of the Marauder Hunters. Really like this from the Chaos Dwarfs and Koala. He dives onto two Marauder Hunters, trying to disrupt them with his body, and then takes a Burning Head out on the last one to try and damage it enough or just make them rout or something, but also just disorganize them a bit, let the Kadai Fireborn charge in. Flaming Sword of Ruin is out, giving them a little bit more weapon strength, but it's mostly for the army-wide fire buff that you can give the Kadai Fireborn. They all pile in here. There's one Marauder Hunter on the outside that is able to fire, but everything else is largely caught up in here, though. No, this Marauder Hunter is actually chucking a couple axes here and there. They're getting mostly disrupted by random Chaos Dwarf Warriors or Marauders running physically into them, knocking them around. Kadai Fireborn swimming through all these infantry, and the terror routes start coming in from that giant flaming bull man. The bounce power is held up by a full health caster, Sorcerer of Death. We'll see how many Spirit Leeches he has left. That's all of his value, and melee is not really going to matter in this game. But Wulfric is hunting for that Sorcerer Prophet of Fire, is largely ignoring him. Once again, good stuff from Koala to keep disrupting as many Marauder Hunters as possible and keeping those Kadai safe. But I don't know how long he can avoid Wulfric. Another big Burning Head down the line. Good stuff on the Marauder Champions. They do have 80 armor, but it's not like insane. It'll do some decent poke some Marauders too, and the Marauder Hunters. But here's the problem. Getting away from Wulfric is tough when you're on a flying mount. He's very fast on the ground, and as long as he stays in contact with you, you do have a hard time getting back up into the sky. Kadai Fireborn killing off all of the Marauders. And now their greatest foe, the Marauder Champions, are coming up. They do not get a charge attack into them, and a Spirit Leech comes in for the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire as he tries to get away. Kadai Fireborn swims straight through the Marauder Champions, though. Get onto those Marauder Hunters. And 20 seconds left on the Chalice of Blood and Darkness, so that Spirit Leech actually did damage him fully. It didn't give him any healing whatsoever. Sorcerer Prophet of Fire tries to get through his Kadai, but without any support, the Kadai are getting whittled down by these champions, getting whittled down by Wulfric. There's just nowhere for the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire to go. Norsca clawed back into a lead that now looks insurmountable unless we have some crazy RNG on this duel. But with Hunter of Champions out, it's extremely unlikely. 0 melee defense in the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire. Army losses hits. Norsca brings it back. Good stuff, good stuff. Nice rolling with the punches there from Norsca and Nurgle's PA. Seeing a build you definitely didn't expect this much ranged, but still rolling. For Koala, the Kadai were interesting. They overall did okay, too. Not great, but not bad. Hobgoblin Archers, they did their best, but they were mostly there for, like, Skin Wolves and stuff. Not a lot of this Norskin roster was really weak to light fire arrows. They all had shields and stuff. So, GG. GG. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.